Hello everyone, my name is Apostate. I used to be a Muslim and now I'm vocal about my journey out of faith. And I'm on a mission to represent my fellow ex-Muslims and amplify their voices, especially those of them who are unable to publicly speak about their struggles. Some of us might face violent consequences for doing so, and a lot of us are afraid of losing our friends, family, and community for simply speaking our truth. Today, I want to amplify one of my viewers' voices by reading her letter. And although she is unable to read it to her mother, she wanted me to share it with you. I hope you enjoy. Hi, Mom. How are you? I miss you. I know we talk every day, but these days it feels like we're further apart than ever. I remember when I was little, we used to be so close. We used to have these long conversations. We talked about everything. Mainly because nobody else understood what our family was going through. You would tell me that I wasn't just your daughter, I was your sister. I loved being your sister because I knew your real sister was too far away to support you, so I supported you. I know I didn't always do a good job, but I tried my best. Honestly, I don't think I was old enough to really help. I hadn't even reached double digits, but I tried. I promise, I tried. Living with Dad was hard. I remember once you came into my room, you were crying because my dad did something awful. I hated watching you cry. I felt helpless. I was worried Dad was going to hell because of his actions. You told me to go remind him to be a better man, and that's what I did. I reminded him that Allah is watching us, and we shouldn't hurt others. It worked. You guys were happy again, until the very next day that you fought. That really sucked. But it was okay, because Allah was just testing us. That's what everyone told me anyway. We were only suffering because Allah loved us a lot and wanted to make sure that we go to Jannah. You know, I always looked up to you. You were amazing. You were a super mom. You took care of my younger sister with a cognitive disability. You made sure I always had a homemade meal. You took care of our family by sacrificing yourself. I don't know if I ever said thank you, but thank you. You're so strong. I remember when you were studying for your nursing boards. I don't know how you did it, but you did. When you started working, our life changed for the better. Dad left and life was suddenly so much easier. Thank you for getting your education, and thank you for teaching me the importance of education. I remember when you told Dad to leave, people called you a bad woman, a bad wife, and a bad Muslimah. I remember we would walk around and I'd hear whispers about our family. It's crazy because those were the same people who used to be our friends, or so I thought. It felt like the community abandoned us all in one day. It was just us against the world. And I was okay with that because we were a team and Allah was just testing us. The religion you taught me was beautiful. It was kind and loving, just like you. You told me that good people go to heaven even if they're not Muslim, because Allah knows who we are. You told me that even if we don't follow all the rules, it's okay, because Allah is forgiving and merciful. Whenever life was good, you reminded me that it was because of Allah. Whenever life was tough, you told me that we need to rely on Allah. He's going to give us strength and we're going to get through this, like we always do. I believed you, because we always did get through it. It must have been because of God. You know, Mom, I remember for a long time it was just you and me fasting for Ramadan. I would tell you that everyone around me is excited and ready to fast, but I am definitely not. You'd laugh a little and tell me that you feel the same way. But Ramadan is a gift from God and we should treat it as such. We spent so much time together, watching musalsalat, preparing food, and most importantly, eating ataif. There were definitely fun parts about Ramadan, but it wasn't all great. Fasting gave you migraines. You would come home in tears because of the pain, and it was so scary. I didn't understand why you kept fasting. I told you that God didn't ask those who are sick to fast, but you told me that God gives you good deeds, so it's better to do it. I always knew you were strong, but man, I wish you didn't have to be. Fast forward to today. Mom, I have to be honest. I feel like I'm not myself around you. I used to tell you everything, but I can't anymore. You are my biggest supporter in school. You always reminded me of the importance of education and that not all women are given this opportunity. I did take it seriously. In fact, I took it more seriously than anything else in my life. And I think that's where things started to go wrong. I remember coming down from class and telling you I learned that the first Homo sapien on Earth was actually found to be somewhere in Africa. You scoffed and said that my professor is wrong. The first man on Earth was Adam, and he wasn't from Africa. I didn't really argue with you much. I knew you were wrong, but decided that maybe this isn't an argument worth having. No big deal. But I think that's where we started to lose touch. You sacrificed everything so that I could be educated. But once I was educated, I didn't feel very connected to Islam. I wish you could see it from my view. My thinking is different now. I'm sorry if that causes you pain. I have so much to tell you, but I can't. Mom, I have a boyfriend, and he's amazing. I love him. He makes my life better. I was nervous when we first started dating. I didn't want to end up like you and Dad, but I don't think we will. He is gentle, he is kind, he is smart. He's my biggest supporter and my best friend. He is nothing like Dad, and I'm so lucky to have him. And I wish I could tell you more about him, but I can't. He's not Muslim, and to you, that means he can't marry me. So what I'm doing is wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to love someone that I shouldn't. It just happened. I don't regret it though. My world is better because of him. I wish I could tell you more, but I don't want to make you sad. Mom, I am a good person. I mean, I don't know if I am, but I'm trying. I really try to be a good person. I try to follow the morals and values that you taught me. Recently you asked me where you went wrong with me. Why do I keep asking questions about Islam? Why can't I just follow the rules and stop thinking so much? I don't know. I wish I could stop thinking, but I can't. I mean, that's how I was trained. I was trained as a scientist. Of course I'm going to question things. You remind me that there are plenty of Muslim scientists, but I secretly wonder how that could possibly be true. My boyfriend once asked me, why didn't anybody else see the moon split into two? I told him that it was because everyone else was asleep, but I wasn't really convinced of that argument. It's so silly. I remember once my uncle told me that gold is haram for men because it hurts their fertility. I laughed a little. I couldn't help it. I'm not good at hiding my feelings. You gave me a little pinch, telling me to stop being so arrogant. My uncle asserted that it's true. There is even science to back it up. Did you forget that I knew how to read journal articles? I visited Google Scholar that day and I was horrified at the bad science that was done by Muhammad and Ali from Iran, the two Muslims who seemingly set out to prove that assertion. That was embarrassing. I don't understand why you always refer to bad science when trying to convince me of how perfect Islam is. You even tried to convince me that fasting for 18 hours was healthy. That was crazy. You sent me a video of a British doctor talking about the benefits of intermittent fasting, but that's not the same thing. Mom, you're a healthcare worker. You know that it can't be good for us not to drink water for 18 hours a day. Mom, I want to believe what you believe, but I just can't. I'm sorry, I really did try. I don't know how to end this letter. I love you so much. Thank you for everything you have done for me. My life is happy now. I have a real family around me. They're not blood, of course, but they might as well be. They're all really smart, and I get to learn from them. I have parties and celebrations. I don't know if I can ever tell you who I really am. I don't know if I have to hide it in front of you forever. I hope it works out. I can't imagine hurting you more. I'm so sorry I left Islam. I really, really tried to stay. You should know that. I didn't mean for this to happen. It just did. And I'm so sorry for the choices I've made, but they are the right choices for me. So I am going to stand by them. But I'm going to try really hard not to hurt you. I'll still say Yarhamakumullah when you sneeze, and tell you Allah ya'tik al-afiyah when you complain to me about your work. I will hold your hand and tell you that Allah will make life better, even if I don't believe it. I will always stand by you, no matter what. Again, I'm sorry that I made the choices that I've made. I wish I was selfless enough to sacrifice my life, but I'm not. I hope we can one day be close again, even if you're close with a version of me that no longer exists. Thank you to the member of our community who wrote this letter. She told me that although it was difficult, writing it was healing. Sometimes we can't share what we want to share with our loved ones, but it can still feel great to write it down somewhere. So I urge you to try it yourself. Perhaps you too have something you want to share that you can't say out loud and can only be said in an unsent letter. Additionally, you could find support in a community like ours, Aladdin's Agraba on Discord. A lot of our members have struggled with feelings of loneliness due to their departure from religion, but in coming together, we realize that we are not alone. And we use that space to discuss difficulties that we face, from losing our loved ones to reconstructing our worldviews. And we also partake in all sorts of fun activities, so you can pick and choose what you'd like to participate in. So whether you're sharing or listening, it's a safe space for you to be an ex-Muslim unapologetically, among people who can understand you. If you would like to become a member of our Discord server, it's easy. Just support the channel by becoming a YouTube member or patron and link your Discord account, like many of these lovely folks have done. I want to thank you all for your help. This would not be possible without you. So give this video a like to help amplify its reach and consider watching one of these videos next. And as always, think critically and think for yourself.